No, well, I suppose it will not. However, I would say the palace have been worried about this book, more worried about the book than the Netflix series that Harry and Meghan have done for some time now. And, I mean, perhaps it's the cynic in me that this sounds like a very silly scrap between brothers, which do happen. Yes, Harry was pushed to the floor. Yes, he landed on a dog bowl, apparently, which cracked and caused some marks on his back. Prince William also tore a necklace of Harry, which I think the interesting detail about that is that Harry wore a necklace, not that it was torn off. And this was obviously the sort of crunch point of their conflict, which everybody has known about for some time. There will be more to come. Harry's on a sort of pre-publicity tour for the book, which comes out on Tuesday, my birthday. I hope no one gets it for me. But it's... it seems like, it's obviously interesting, titillating, but it's not going to destroy the royal family.
Well, just this time yesterday, Martin and I were talking about how tightly guarded this book was and how the publishers were keeping it under lock and key.
Harry Potter
and
style.
And overnight, I mean, none of the papers have this story. The Guardian managed to get hold of a copy. Presumably someone has been speed reading it and this juicy detail has come out. And yet we were both saying this morning, this is a man who fought in Afghanistan, flew Apache helicopters, talks about being terrified when his brother screamed at him and is now being seen to be knocked over by a dog bowl and calling his therapist straight away. Does it make him actually appear...
wet,
as opposed to his brother being a bully? I mean, a lot of people can see why Prince William is extremely frustrated.
Well, this is the other thing about the Harry and Meghan story. There's always this sort of comedy aspect. Does he really realise how wet he sounds? I mean, another detail, which, I think will amuse a lot of people, is that William says, don't tell Meg about this. And Harry says he does eventually tell Meg about it, but he first talks to his therapist, because that's what you do. Obviously, when you have an argument with your brother, you talk about your therapist.
Well, you do if you live in California, of course.
You do if you live in California, yeah. Although, of course, at the time they were living at Nottingham Cottage, which, according to the Netflix documentary, they found very difficult because it was so small.
Yes, Oprah said nobody would believe you'd be living in this tiny cottage in the grounds of a palace.
And Harry is so tall that he kept hitting his head, which is even more impressive that William managed to knock him over.